What is going on, guys? It's your boy SONICSTA back at it again with another video, and I just want to tell you all once again that your boy has been watching a lot of anime and been reading a lot of manga. So much in fact that it's been on my mind more often than it usually is, and it was already pretty high as it was. But you know what else is on my mind a lot? Sonic the Hedgehog. I know that comes as a pretty big shocker to all of you, but yeah, Sonic is on my mind quite frequently. But today, I wanted to make a video that would give me an excuse to talk about two of my favorite things, Sonic the Hedgehog and anime. Those of you who've been watching my content for a while now though, know that this is not really a new thing I'm bringing to the table. In the past, I've done a whole series dedicated to what if Sonic the Hedgehog was a Shonen Jump property, and I still see a few of you from time to time in the comments asking for a part 4, which is always nice to see. But anyway, I thought to myself, as I was watching Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean on Netflix, what is a way I could talk about anime again on my channel? Then I got to thinking, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog and a couple of pretty popular shonen anime have a lot in common. So why don't I talk about a couple of parallels between one of my favorite video game franchises and one of my favorite sources of entertainment. Of course, these parallels aren't going to be one-to-one comparisons, as there will be some things different. Some of them might be just common tropes in fiction, or maybe I've addressed them in videos before. Nevertheless though, these were just some really cool stuff I noticed while watching a couple of anime and comparing them to Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, and also, I'm not comparing every single anime ever known to man because that would actually be impossible. Like, I'd have to watch every single anime ever and find a parallel to Sonic. It's not even possible to watch every single anime in existence, and even if there were, some of them are just not that thrilling to watch for me. Anyway, before we get into the part you're all so anxiously waiting for, if you could just remember to hit that like and subscribe button, that would be spectacular. Your boy would really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright, let's start with a super iconic one, Naruto. And if you don't mind, in this segment, I'm going to look over both Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, because the manga is literally just called Naruto, and in my opinion, it's the definitive way to experience the series. I'm sorry, anime watchers, but I just think the manga is better. Anyway, the first thing I want to talk about is the Naruto run. We've all seen it, we all know what this is. You may have seen the nerdy kid at school run like this across the hallway in between classes, or maybe you were that nerdy kid. Don't worry, I was too. But that's beside the point. We all have seen this run at some point in our lives. Running with your arms behind your back is just that thing that, well, Naruto and many of his other characters in the series do. It happens so often, and there's even been videos that have tried to confirm this is the fastest way to run in general. But you want to know something? Ever since I was little Skippy, I've known this to be the Sonic run. This was a run that I've only ever seen Sonic do, and when I was younger, I heard someone call my running style the Naruto run. I looked at them very repulsively. We all know Sonic did it first, and did it better. Nah, I'm just messing. The whole arms behind the back thing started way before Sonic and Naruto, so nobody really copied off of anyone, but I still always found this to be pretty neat. Moving on with the Naruto series, I want to talk about Amy Rose and Sakura Haruno, two characters fans of both franchises love to hate on. Firstly, these two characters bear a lot in common in terms of design. Despite the fact that one is a hedgehog, both have pink hair and green eyes, and it matches well with their red and white outfits. I also want to mention that Amy and Sakura both started off as characters who had longer hair. Sakura had longer hair because she was trying to win over Sasuke. Amy had longer hair because she had a striking resemblance to Sonic in the game Sonic CD. However, both of these characters went through design changes as Amy's hair was shortened and Sakura cut her hair too. Although Sakura's change has much more meaning behind it, it does really make you see the connection. Another small parallel you don't see happen too often is the sheer fact that both Naruto Uzumaki and Sonic the Hedgehog were both made snake food in main canon. During the Chunin exam, Naruto has a rough encounter with a comically large snake, as he actually ends up getting eaten by it. Sonic has a similar encounter in the game Sonic Forces, although Sonic manages a much quicker escape, Naruto actually ends up killing the beast. Sonic may have, but we can't be too sure. The last parallel from the Naruto series I want to talk about is between Sasuke Uchiha and Shadow the Hedgehog. Both of these two characters are known for being purely motivated by revenge. Having lost everything and everyone in their past, they chose to attack and destroy all those who get in their way. Also, they both use a lightning-esque attack. Sasuke uses Chidori, and Shadow uses a Chaos Spear, which kind of resembles a lightning ability. Now I know that was a pretty common theme, you see the whole revenge trope done pretty often in fiction, however Sasuke and Shadow are two characters who are pretty synonymous with the term vengeance, so I see this as a pretty clean parallel nonetheless. With that out of the way, we can move on to one of my favorites, actually my favorite manga series of all time. I'm sorry. To be quite honest with you, I don't have a lot for this one. I don't know why, but I didn't see a ton of strong connections between these two series. But I did find one really interesting gem that warrants its own spot. On a variant cover of a Sonic Universe comic, issue number 93, we see Sonic hanging out with a lot of his friends, as all of them are dressed up like pirates. But if you take a closer look, you can see that this cover bears a striking resemblance to the One Piece Romance Dawn volume cover. This is one of the most popular covers in the entire series, as creator Ichiro Oda has recreated it a number of times. Not to mention, this Sonic comic cover is even called the All for One variant, and uses a similar One Piece font. On this cover, we also see that Sonic is Luffy, Amy is Nami, Knuckles is Frankie, Tails is Sanji, Sally is Chopper, Vector is Zoro, Espio is Usopp, and the Archie character Princess Undina is Robin. Oh, and also Charmy is Brooke. The character comparisons aren't perfect because Tails ain't no simp, but I really do appreciate the drive here. This is a really nice cover. It almost makes me want to dive into who knows how many chapters there are in the Archie Sonic series. Anyway, the last thing I could really think of for the One Piece and Sonic comparison is that both main characters, Luffy and Sonic, do horribly in water. These characters are known to have no swimming abilities whatsoever. However, I would argue that Luffy has it far worse than Sonic. Because of the Gum Gum Devil Fruit Luffy ate, he lost all of the ability to float, swim, or do much of anything in water. Sonic, however, just doesn't know how to swim. You would think by now, in all his years of fighting Eggman, he would have somehow just learned, but sadly, this is not the case. Unfortunately, that's all I could think of for Sonic and One Piece that wasn't really generic. Yeah, Luffy and Sonic both value the importance of friendship a lot, but that's really broad, and I want to aim for parallels that actually have at least a little ounce of substance to them. In other words, I don't want to reach too much more than I already am. That said, I want to move on to another series that I also couldn't think of a whole lot of stuff for, and that is... yes, Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. You see, this was kind of a hard one to think of Sonic-related stuff for because, well, Jojo really doesn't have a whole lot in common with Sonic. Jojo is a series that has an ever-changing main character, and it is full of, well, bizarre stuff that you really will not find anywhere else. The show is phenomenal, and part 4 might be the best thing that my eyes have ever seen, but I had a tough time coming up with stuff. But I did come up with one thing, and even though it might be kind of a reach, I still wanted to talk about it anyway. So there's this one scene in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders where the main antagonist, Dio, comes face to face with the main protagonist, Jotaro Kujo. And Jotaro meets Dio, and some pretty iconic lines are said, then a fight commences, but before that can happen, Dio reveals his stand called... With this stand, Dio can freeze time and inflict damage on his opponent, who we know to be Jotaro. This kind of reminded me of the scene in Sonic Adventure 2, where Sonic meets Shadow for the first time, and in his encounter, Sonic approaches Shadow, and Shadow is like... Then Shadow jumps towards Sonic and seems to slow him down. These two scenes also happened in similar locations, in a city during the nighttime. It's obviously not perfect, but I still thought it was a pretty worthy parallel. And also, spoiler alert, but both Jotaro and Sonic learn the ability their opponents are using, so it's pretty cool. But unfortunately, JoJo fans, that's all I got for you on this one. Hopefully, y'all will have a bit more to provide in the comment section down below. Moving on, however, let's talk about the most obvious Sonic anime parallel. I'm talking about... First things first, let's talk about character similarities and give a brief little explanation. Firstly, Sonic and Goku. Main characters, fairly similar personalities, and both love to explore and fight new opponents, and also make new friends whenever they can. Next is Shadow and Vegeta, for pretty obvious reasons. Shadow and Vegeta are seen as somewhat of the antithesis to the main character, and also began as enemies in the series. Not to mention, Sonic and Shadow are Hedgehogs, Goku and Vegeta are Saiyans. Next is my personal favorite, Knuckles the Echidna and Piccolo. These two began as enemies slash rivals to the main character, only to end up working with the main character pretty much every single time afterwards. These two characters are known for acting pretty no-nonsense, but really, they aren't all that they seem. And then you have the biggest and likely one of the most noteworthy comparisons between future Trunks and Silver the Hedgehog. These two come from the future, but for very different reasons. Trunks wanted to help Goku overcome an incurable heart problem, while Silver wanted to pretty much just do the exact opposite to Sonic. Rather than help Sonic from unforeseen doom, Silver wanted to be the catalyst of the aforementioned doom. So it may have been for reasons that are almost polar opposites, but they still both had a major involvement with the main character. Trunks is also a Saiyan, and Silver is of course a Hedgehog. I also have one more character parallel, and although he may not be the main antagonist of the Dragon Ball series anymore, I still do believe that Dr. Gero and Dr. Eggman share quite a bit in common. Both are responsible for creating armies that almost antagonize the main character, being the Red Ribbon Army and the Eggman Empire. Both visibly appear much older than everybody else in the series and take great pride in all the machines they create, and not to mention, both ended up getting brutally betrayed by one of their own. Eggman, we know, has been betrayed numerous times in the past. Dr. Gero, however, was betrayed by Android 17. Now, of course, we can talk about these super forms. You have the Super Saiyans and you have the Super Hedgehogs. Although these forms have different means of activation, they still add much needed speed and strength to the user. The Hedgehogs need Chaos Emeralds, and the Saiyans initially become strong after getting pretty angry, like when Frieza kills Krillin on planet Namek. Goku gets super pissed, and Frieza gets terrified of seeing the power of a Super Saiyan. But yeah, of course, there are a ton more parallels throughout Dragon Ball and the Sonic the Hedgehog series, and I really do believe that if you like Sonic, Dragon Ball is one of those series you should definitely give a watch. The last show I want to talk about in brief is... Don't lose your way! Now, to be quite honest, this show as a whole gets talked about a lot for being very similar to the game Sonic Adventure 2. I've met a few Sonic fans who love this show, and I can't blame them. It's pretty darn good. The main character, Ryoko Matoi, is a product of an experiment that happened years ago. Her color scheme is full of black and red, so you can see why people compare her to Shadow. Throughout the show, Matoi has several battles with Satsuki Kiryuin, a character who is a semi-similar to Sonic the Hedgehog in terms of the blue and white and red design. These two characters eventually join forces to battle one common enemy, and that's pretty much like the end of Sonic Adventure 2, and I think by now you kinda get my point. There is quite a bit similar about these two franchises. Again, it ain't perfect, but it's one that is definitely worth noting. What's going on, guys? Thank you all so much for sticking around to the end of the video. But now I want to hear from you. What is your favorite Sonic anime parallel? It doesn't have to be from this video, of course. I would just love to check out all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. I also want to take the time to shout out my amazing channel members. Thank you all so much for your everlasting support on my channel. You guys are truly the best motivators I could ever ask for. Every day I wake up praising the Lord for amazing people like you guys. Y'all are truly the best. If you want to become a member of my channel, there will be more information in a link in the description down below. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. This is SONICSTA signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?